Welcome to Story Time!
Welcome to Story Time again with Riverside Performing Arts. Today we are going to read the story of the Velveteen Rabbit, and we actually have a show of this. And in the show I get to play horse and I get to play the caterpillar. So let's read it together. It's adapted from the original story by Margery Williams, The Velveteen Rabbit. There was once a Velveteen Rabbit, and in the beginning he was really splendid. He was fat and bunchy, as a rabbit should be. His coat was spotted brown and white. He had real thread whiskers, and his ears were lined with pink satin. For at least 2 hours, the boy loved him. And then his friends arrived for his birthday party, and in the excitement of looking at all of the new presents, the Velveteen Rabbit was forgotten. For a long time, the Velveteen Rabbit lived in the nursery toy cupboard, and no one thought very much about him. He was naturally shy, and being only made of velveteen, some of the more expensive toys snubbed him. The mechanical toys thought they were very superior. They looked down on the other toys and pretended they were real. The Velveteen Rabbit could not claim to be real, for he didn't know that real rabbits existed. "What is real?" asked the Velveteen Rabbit one day when he was lying beside Rocking Horse on the nursery room floor. "Does it mean having things that buzz inside you and a stick-out handle?" "Real isn't how you are made," said Rocking Horse. "It's a thing that happens to you when a child loves you for a long, long time, not just to play with, but really loves you. Then you become real." There was a person called Mum who ruled the nursery. Sometimes she took no notice of the playthings lying about, and sometimes, for no reason whatsoever, she went sweeping about like a great wind and hustled them away into cupboards. She called this tidying up, and the playthings all hated it, especially the metal ones. The Velveteen Rabbit didn't mind it so much, for wherever he was thrown, he always landed softly. One evening, when the boy was going to bed, he couldn't find the cuddly teddy that always slept with him. His mum was in a hurry, and seeing that the toy cupboard door stood open, she reached inside. "Here," she said, "take your old bunny. He'd like to sleep with you." And she dragged the Velveteen Rabbit out by one ear and placed him into the boy's arms. That night, and for many nights after, the Velveteen Rabbit slept in the boy's bed. At first, he found it rather uncomfortable, for the boy hugged him very tight, and he rolled over on him, and sometimes he pushed him so far under the pillow that the Velveteen Rabbit could scarcely breathe. But very soon the Velveteen Rabbit grew to like it, for the boy used to talk to him and made nice tunnels for him under the bedclothes that he said were like the burrows that real rabbits lived in. And they had splendid games together. And when the boy dropped off to sleep, the Velveteen Rabbit would snuggle down close under his little warm chin and dream, with the boy's hands cuddling him all night long. Soon spring came, and they spent long days together in the garden. Once, when the boy was called away suddenly to go in for dinner, the Velveteen Rabbit was left out on the lawn until long after dusk. The boy couldn't go to sleep without the Velveteen Rabbit, and Mum had to come and look for him with a torch. "You must have your old bunny," she said. "Fancy all that fuss for a toy." The boy sat up in bed and stretched out his hands. "You mustn't say that," said the boy. "He isn't a toy. He's real." When the Velveteen Rabbit heard what the boy said, he was happy, for he knew what Rocking Horse said was true at last. The nursery magic had happened to him, and he was a toy no longer. He was real.
Wow, I really love the story of the Velveteen Rabbit. And at Riverside Performing Arts, we've been touring our own show, The Velveteen Rabbit, where I get to play the boy, and it's been so much fun doing that show. Hopefully, in the future, you'll have a chance to see it as well. But for now, we have some activities for you to be doing. The first activity that we want you to do is to write some diary entries as if you are the Velveteen Rabbit. Remember at the start of the story when the Velveteen Rabbit was scared and alone when it first came into the house? Why don't you write the first diary entry as if you are that, scared and alone and in a new place? And then we want you to write a diary entry as if you're at the end of the story, when the boy has told the Velveteen Rabbit that he loves the Velveteen Rabbit very much and that the Velveteen Rabbit is real to him. And write about how you feel in that moment and compare the two, the first diary entry and the second one. And our other activity for you to do is we want you to make your very own bunny rabbit ears. Whatever that looks like, it might be you get a headband from the house and you attach some ears onto it, maybe with some pipe cleaners, or you could have some really big floppy ears that hang down beside your head. Whatever they look like, whatever color they are, we would love to see some pictures of them. So send them to us on our Facebook at Riverside Performing Arts. Other than that, we'd love to see you next week for our story time at 10 a.m. See you then!